Okay, so this is a first example. I'm getting used to recording my pen testing certification study time as a record. If anybody else is interested in actually doing this, this is going to be an example of it. It is for me to be able to go back over and watch my own attempts and make sure that what I'm doing is um, how do we say, efficient, so I can make improvements, so I can reevaluate. This machine I've actually already hacked. I'm going to be using Hack the Box as a um, uh, the lab environment. I This one I have actually already done, so I am just walking through it. But it's still completely valid. So I'm going to share my screen here. This is a Kali Linux server. And I am going to just bring down a little timer here. Throw this up in the corner. So we're going to spawn the machine. So this is the machine I'm going to get. I've logged in. I've got an account with them, and the system is, like I said, has already been hacked by me. I've actually already got everything filled in here. So if what's very nice about their system is, I'm going to hide this here. So what's nice about their system is that for beginners, this is a retired machine, which is definitely start with, and they've got walkthroughs. There's instructions on actually how to get it. There are talks about like basically holding your hand, how many ports are open, which means in order to figure that out, you got to do a port scan, and then um, where what's the next step and where do you get it. So they'll walk you through it, or you can just go into adventure mode and you can own the flags this way. So very nice, very flexible, great system. I highly encourage, and it's just kind of fun too. But anyhow, I've actually already got the commands. I'm working on memorizing them. I need to continue to improve my understanding of exactly what each command is. I've already worked on streamlining the system here, but we will get there. So I am should already be. Oh, it appears that I'm offline here. Give me 1 second here. So as that comes up, I'm going to just drag this timer off. I'm going to pause my screen sharing because yeah, you guys don't need to see my passwords and so forth. Let me just this up. Okay, I am logging into the VPN now. Okay. All right, so VPN is connected. And we're looking good there. I'm going to switch back to my main screen here. The machine is now up and running. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, my full screen. All right. So we're sharing. So I can kill this tasks here. I can hide this again. Okay, so this is the IP address of our server that we're going to attack. And I am going to just pop open one of my shells here. I am going to open up my notes right here. So this is just keeping track of what's going on. So like in this situation, originally I ran this top port scan, but honestly, it takes about 4 minutes to run the scan. I don't need that for these machines. So what I'm going to just do is an nmap against that IP address, and all it's going to do is tell me what ports are up and running. And paste the clipboard. What is, oh, that. So let's just clear that up a little bit. So we're just going to scan that machine or not. Does not seem to be up. It is up. Oh, there's a tilde at the end there. My apologies. So in the Nmap right there, that tilde, that was the problem. So there we go. So it's now running an Nmap scan. So it's scanning. I've got 3 open ports here. Okay. So the FTP service. So the default here is to see if you can get in with anonymous. So you can't. I'm not going to waste time with that. This is about the efficiency. But if you could try to log in with FTP, there's usually an anonymous account that sometimes will gain you access. Not the case with this one. It's all shut down and it's all user accounts. SSH, again, locked down. There is no default account there. So not the first thing I'm going to hack, but port 80 is just a beautiful thing. So let's go ahead and hit this at port 80. And like I said, this machine is not actually it's not a great vulnerability. This is a machine just made to practice and get you used to the idea. So we're going to go in and there's hey, it's a web interface. It's port 80. It's not secure. And look at that. I'm logged in as Nathan. So we've got a user here and let's poke around a little bit. So we've got, looks like it's a dashboard for some sort of security console. We've got some security events, failed logins, port scans. So this thing definitely has some high privilege levels because it's able to see the logs and everything. So that's under our dashboard here. We'll go down to our, and PCAP analysis. Let's take a look at what we got here. So it takes it a second to come up. And here we go. Nice little dashboard. I'm not seeing a packet here. It looks like nothing. I'm going to try to download it. Oh, look at that. So it says no packets, but there's an actual PCAP here. So I'm going to pop that open. What do I have in here? I have absolutely nothing. There are no packets in there. So that is crap. All right, closing that. All right, looking around, and this is an interesting URL. There's not usually, but there's a lot of things here, so data, but that one is very interesting here. So let's just jump over to our IP config. So this is our Ethernet interface with the IP addresses and so forth, packets and so forth. Yeah, this definitely has some power to it. So network status. Again, we're looking at some nice data here on processes. Well, this is NetStat. So these are all the connections and what's connected to. Let's see here. Anything too exciting here? So this is actually going to be my machine connecting up to the web interface. So this should be my IP address, and this is the web server I'm actually connecting up to right here. You can see the IP is the same right there. So anyhow, so we've also got some additional information on processes and so forth. Nothing too exciting here. I'm going to go back to this PCAP. And this is interesting. So, and now it's 2. It was 1 before, and now it's 2. So this is jumping around. So let's drop this back down to 1. And again, it's the same thing, but it let it launch. Maybe this user has 2 PCAPs. What do we have under 0? Oh, and look at this. We have actual packets. All right, so we're going to just download this PCAP. So this is PCAP 0. And pop it open. Oh, and look at all this data here. Okay, taking a quick look through here. So we've got source IP address, destination IP address. So it's the back and forth, right? So we've got three-way handshake, SYN, SYNAC, ACK, and then we've got a GET on HTTP. So here's the actual HTTP GET and so forth. I'm not seeing anything jump out at me yet here, but this is, I suspect this is where, well, actually, I've already done this. I know that this is where the data is, but we're going to just kind of walk through this as if you were seeing it or I was seeing it for the first time. So again, we've got HTTP requests. I'm not seeing what they call a put. I'm not seeing really much data go up. So we're just looking through here, and then, so that's port 80. So this is web traffic. What's this? 21. So this is going to be our FTP. Oh my goodness. And there we go. There's a username, Nathan. All right. So we've got a user, Nathan, and we've got a password right there. All right. So I am going to snag this, copy as ASCII text. Okay. I am going to jump over back to my notepad here. Okay. And I'm just going to paste that in. So here's the guy's password. Okay. And the user is, let's see here. Where's our user? Sorry, I saw it just up here a second ago. Nathan, here we go. There's Nathan. Copy as hex or ASCII, I mean. All right, so we've gotten, well, we can keep looking here real quick, but there's Nathan. So we now have Nathan's username and password here. All right, so we're going to just jump back over here to our PCAP. And I don't see anything else here. Just a successful login. And then a Finn, he logs out. So there is a file there. But the trick here, I think, is going to be to just so we are going to SSH to, was it 145? Or 245, I mean? Yep, it looks like it is. So Nathan, so login is user Nathan. So that IP address with user Nathan. And now we're going to grab our password here. Okay. Okay, we are actually in as Nathan. So now we're in as this user. Okay. And so now the trick is going to be to get access, find out what's vulnerable to the system. So I can do first thing to do is ls, and oh, there's a user.txt. So if I do more user, there's our first flag. So that shows that I have compromised this machine as a regular user. Basically, they did something foolish and unencryptedly used a username and password that happened to be caught in a capture file. Now, if I was on the network, I wouldn't even need to be on this machine. That's unencrypted. So if I had been sniffing the network, I would have been able to get their user. I would have been able to log in. That's essentially what this is simulating. The odds of having a unsecured PCAP file is pretty rare, but that's kind of what they're simulating, is me being on the network, and I can't take that PCAP file, and now I've got it. But it shows the weakness of using unencrypted protocols such as FTP. Use SFTP. And when I do a write-up for this machine, if I was a company, it's exactly what I would say, is you shouldn't be using FTP, you should be using SFTP. It's incredibly insecure. Okay, so now we've gained access to the machine. So the next step is to now basically run a scan of the system itself. So what we're going to do here is I am going to start up a web server right here. I'm going to start up a nice little web server. This clipboard. So what this does is this is moving me into, do this. So what we've got is we're moving into this directory, and I'm running as root because I need to start a web server and in this directory. Okay. So that's what this guy's going to do. No such directory. Wondering why I screwed up there. CD. Okay. / user. Share. Okay. Oh, it's Lynn. That's why. What's going on here? Oh, I was adding the extra. Okay, not needed. Okay, so I'm in that directory now, and now I am going to, so I need to modify my copy and paste there a little bit. So now we're going to run that web server. Paste selection. So I've got my web server right here. All right, so the web server is now running. And now I can jump over onto the machine I've compromised, and I am going to run this command right here. And what this is doing is curl is essentially a text-based web browser. So we're going to copy. We're going to paste selection. Okay. So now I'm going to the web server right here, and I'm going to my web server, and I'm going to run this script right here in Bash is what this is going to do. So in the shell, I'm going to run this. So I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to take a few seconds. It shouldn't be. What is, something's going wrong here. Oh, I will bet you my IP is not correct. Give me 1 second here. Control C. So we're going to kill that. We are going to jump over to another shell real quick here. Okay, here we go. And ifconfig. Okay, so my IP address is right here, 16.5. So we'll jump back here. Yeah, 16.5. So 16.5. Okay, there we go. Now it's running. So now what it's doing is it's downloaded that script and it is running that script. It is looking for versions of software and anything else. It's trying to find a vulnerability, something that I can leverage and take advantage of. So we can kill this now. Okay, so here's my scripting. Okay. Oh, that bright orange. I think that bright orange was what we were looking for. Vulnerable to CV. Oh, okay, we've got a. So this is telling me that there's a vulnerability, and it's telling me that vulnerability. So I can go and Google this. Copy selection. Okay, we're going to go. I want to pop open a new one. We're just going to search for that CVE, privilege exploitation with Polkit. Okay. So here's the information on it. Via authentication bypasses. Okay. This looks good. This looks good. So this definitely looks like I could use it to my advantage to get into the system. Okay. Polkit could be tricked into bypassing the credential checks for dbus requests. Okay. Elevating the privilege to root level. Used by an unprivileged local attacker, which is what I'm logged in as right now. For example, creating a local administrator. The highest threat from this vulnerability is to data confidentiality and integrity as long as system availability. Okay, good. All right, so that's looking like a good one. What else do we got going on here? Not seeing anything else jump out at me here. There's a lot of stuff here. But again, I'm just seeing no. Oh, Look at this. So the Python programming language, which is built in here, looks like I can escalate this. Okay. So this is if this is it, this is super easy. Okay. So what we're going to do here, keep going down. So Python privilege escalation. Okay. So we're going to scroll down. I'm not seeing anything else, nothing else, nothing else. Keep scrolling. And okay, we're back to the command prompt. So we got two attacks. I'm going after the Python first. Okay. So that's so we're just going to run Python. Can I just do Python? No, Python 3. Okay. So we're going to do pretty basic import OS. Okay, we are going to, I love this one. We're basically saying we're root by this set SUID. We're setting the ID as 0. So we are, if I can actually get the thing selected here. Okay, it took it. Okay, and now I'm just going to open up a bash shell prompt. Okay. Okay. So who am I? I'm root. Okay. So I've just completely owned this machine. I am now logged in as root because basically what happened is Python's running as root and it allowed me to change my user. The really important one here is this set UID 0. It put me in as root. And then I just said, as Python, in Python, I'm running the bash shell, which is why I have a command prompt here. So if I do an ls, there's my user.text. So I do just let's just do a more user. And there it is. So I've captured root and I've captured the user. So here are the two. So that is how you compromise a machine. And we're done. I mean, this is it. So I would copy these two out and I would put them into my, which I've already done here, but I would put them into my, where did my, I got too many, I got too many windows open here. So here we go. So I would go into my hack the box here. I would paste the first one in. I thought this one was quite easy because of the packet capture and the root flag. This was also pretty easy. These are both pretty easy attacks, but they're great for where I'm sitting right now. So these are completely done. I've owned this machine and now we can move on to another machine. But I just wanted to document this first attack, successful attack of mine. And I will record all my future ones also. So yeah, that's about it. And by the way, the write-up for this one would consist of letting my, whoever's paying me to pen test their machines and figure out what's going wrong, it would be moved to SFTP or a similar secure FTP, or get rid of FTP altogether. But FTP itself should be turned off. So you got to either use a secure one or none at all. So that's the first one. And the second one is obviously Python is vulnerable to privilege escalation. And then on top of that, I would write up and say, hey, it wasn't needed, but we've got this CVE that needs to be protected against also. And you can see the score here is quite high. 7.8 out of 10 is significant. This is not good. So anyhow, that's the wrap up here. I would document that and submit a write up to the whoever hired me for the pen test at the company. And we would move on. Thank you so much, and look forward to the next one.